How's it going, everybody? Brian Hoops here, Midwest Market Solutions. This is our closing Market Insider TV commentaries, Thursday, November the 30th. Let's talk about cattle. All right, we talked to this rally is a retracement rally most likely, and we thought it would get higher than what it did. Pulled back up this retracement. And we talked about the 38%. We made that 38% retracement and turned lower. I think part of it was because it's the end of the month, and I think that had more to do with trying to keep the cash trade cheaper than anything today. It seemed like the market wanted to rally early, as we talked about last night, that the feedlots were asking for 123 after the rally in the futures market yesterday. Packers don't want to pay up to 123. They started off in that 117, 119 bids, and with the futures breaking, that attracted some interest from the feedlots, and they ended up trading a lot of cattle at 121. And a lot of that is going to be steady with the majority of trade from a week ago. There was some 120 very early, but I think you're going to see pretty much an average this week of about 120.50 to 121. Big range as far as the cash trade goes here. But the technical action, as you can see from this chart, certainly bearish as we had the bearish reversal. We did close well off our lows, though, so that is one positive. Here we had a couple other days where we had bearish technical reversals and the market did fall, but you know, we did have a day, this pink bar here was a limit up day, even though it was an inside trading session. We could consolidate a little bit. I'm a little encouraged by this close, and I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit more so you can see what I'm talking about here. I'm trying. Let's get everything to cooperate. Here we go. Okay, so this bar here on the right represents the close, well off of our lows, and I think that's going to be an encouraging sign that we have an opportunity to maybe see a little bit of a bounce tomorrow, because it's beginning of the month and we're going into the weekend. So overall, kind of a negative price action, but I think there may be a little bit of recovery tomorrow. Here in the hog market, same thing as yesterday, where we traded higher early and then turned lower late in the session. That's a sign of commercial selling pressure. And in the grains, only corn could manage a rally today. Beans moved to the lowest level since you go back to here, November the 20th. As we closed out the month, remember we rallied up earlier this week to this trend line that we talked about, and then we turned lower here once again. So not a great close today in the beans, especially when you have news like 325,000 or 525,000 beans to China, 132,000 to an unknown, also 110,000 sorghum to China. All this should be friendly to the market, but really unable to hold gains. The only market really to do anything was the corn, and here's a chart of the corn. Potential double bottom here. We rallied up, and then this, if you extend this line on the continuation charts out to here, we rallied right into that resistance about 56.5. We closed at 55 3/4 today, so not a bad close. We're going to run into resistance up here at the 359 area, and then a lot of selling up around 362. So it's going to be tough, difficult to get much above this area, but maybe another day or two of some fun technical type buying and some short covering before we see an increase in farmer selling. As far as wheat futures go, I want to talk about wheat a little bit here. This chart of Kansas City wheat. We did manage to close mostly higher today. We tailed off into the close, but didn't have a bad day overall. The wheat market here, I think fundamentally we're hurting the wheat market, but we're not doing enough to fundamentally to really drive prices back to the plus side. The crop is getting stressed, winter wheat crop stressed right now because it's warm, it's dry, and next week we're going to have very cold temperatures. So I think we'll start talking about a little winter kill. Crop ratings are 50, good to excellent, and they look to drop next week when the state by state numbers come out. I think you're likely to see very little reaction because of that. The trade knows it's just too early to concern, but here's updated charts. Basically unchanged in this Kansas City wheat. We did try and poke back into this resistance area, and we're probably going to struggle on any resistance up in the mid 450 area. This is in the the March contract. Have a good night and hope you had a great day of trading. Give us a call if you have any questions. Brian Hoops for Midwest Markets.